on her condition. But the Bible didn't say that her condition grew better. It said that her condition got worse. I bleed for pain, but Jesus bleeds for purpose, that his death was not in vain. God told me to tell you that the problems back in Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 33, it told the inhabitants that were surrounded in the wilderness that the Lord told them to cast their tent. It's something that is temporary. It's nothing that's stable. Building a home is stable. So when they went through the wilderness, that your problems, whatever's come before you, it's just temporary. So right now, it's just a casting of the tent while we circling around the wilderness. But during this time, this woman had an issue to deal with for the last 12 years. She had an issue of blood. She was bleeding, and due to her hemorrhage, it started to leak blood. And this leaking come from a vessel. Everybody remember the word vessel. Can y'all say vessel? It's changing from a liquid state to a solid state or a semi-solid state. Relationships in our lives that we just keep at our job or whatever goes on, sometimes we can't sustain it because it's a little liquid, it's not solid. Everybody could see what was going on with her. She couldn't stop bleeding, which made her everybody. But also what we talked about earlier, business, always trying to tell somebody else build business because they're always hemorrhaging. And it's a problem when you have hemorrhage from the mouth. You can't. The Bible says that he's here. God came to give the good news. That's what Jesus said. Now, when she visited these doctors, the Bible said it wasn't fixed, that the condition got worse. So her situation never spin your affairs with, because they can't fix your situation that's going on. The only person that can fix your situation is it never got better, doctor. They call them lawyer. She couldn't get that close to him by Jairus. He was an important person. In terms of vessel, your blessings are flowing from him to you. Are you on that blessing? Are you willing to give the fight to keep your vessel open? You know, she's become unstable in every matter. So Jairus came to another issue, a problem with Jesus. So on the way of fixing his problem, well, his daughter died. But she took a chance at probably going to jail or getting beaten or putting in some kind of stockade. She took her chance because for 12 years she had suffered this issue. Just like us. Sometimes we harbor so much stuff that we try to be something in the home. Could have problems with the children. Could have problems with the marriage. Could have problems with some of our friends. But there's a God to go and make everything whole. That she was going to see Jesus. So she took a chance to get healed. It's a symbol of his glory and how his glory radiated. And this lady went out just to touch his robe, and she was healed and made whole. And the Bible says that a piece of him was gone. And he turned around and he asked, "Who touched me?" And sometimes when you're hanging around anointed people, people who are praying, people who are purpose, that sometimes their blessing flows onto you. Y'all ever been in a situation where, I know y'all been gardening before, where you had a water hose, and you go and you go and spray your plants, and they get all the water so they can get nutrients, they can get nourishment. But by you giving, by you inputting in something else, by you inputting in your children, by you inputting in your marriage, by you inputting in things that are glorious to God, this water hose that you spray your plants, when you turn the water off, guess who's always wet? You are. Water always seems to just get on you and wet you up, and you can't help to be blessed when you are blessing to somebody else. Can I get an amen to that? Now, this lady, she began her journey. She had a plan. She was anemic in her social life because the law stated she had to be quarantined, so she suffered socially and mentally. She was anemic financially, for she had been assessed by several doctors, which cost her assumingly a substantial amount of financial responsibility, which made her deficient on finances. She was anemic on her faith and her spiritual growth because she couldn't go to the synagogue and pray because she had an issue of blood, and she had a problem that was going on where she was at a climatic point, and she had nowhere else to turn to. Have you ever been in that situation where you had nowhere else to turn to, where you've cried all your cries that you're going to cry, you've talked to your friends and they can't help, you've talked to your mama, they can't help, your parents, they can't help, you talk to everybody, you exhausted all of your resources. But it's only one resource. She heard the good news and she said, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on my life for me being locked up. I don't care if who talks about me. I don't care who sees all this blood on me. I don't care who sees what's going on to me. But I'm just going to take a chance on myself. We have no other resources but Christ. So we have to run to Christ in every opportunity, in every will, in every purpose, in order to get to our destiny. Everything has to go through Christ. Can I get an amen to that? Now, wonder if me and you, with all our issues, with all our problems, wonder if everybody can see our bleeding every time we had an issue. Wonder if everybody can see the problems. Every time we have a problem, we just start bleeding. Would you stay away from that person? If everybody started walking up, you'd be like, oh, gotta go. They got an issue. They got a problem. I can't deal with them today. Wonder if everybody can see your blood and would you invest it in that bad investment? Would you have stayed in that messed up situation if you knew that they had a problem before you even met them? But if you can just reach your hand out and just touch Jesus. If you can just say that extra prayer just to touch Jesus. If you can just be in agreement with your relationships and be in agreement with God and your vertical relationship, can you just touch him? How can we get closer to God? So this lady, she had a plan. And her first plan was anticipating a positive outcome. She touched the garment. She acted on faith. And her third was spiritual expectancy. She had been made whole again, because if she knew that if she had touched just the hem of his garment, that she will be made whole. So you have to speak life to a dying situation. The power of the tongue, life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So whatever you participate in, your fruit is going to produce that. Your foundation is going to produce that. Nobody can see what's going on under the ground when you're growing. Nobody can see you when you may feel undervalued or unappreciated. The enemy can't see what's brewing up inside of you that God has put inside of you. But it will become manifest when you pray to God, when you reach out to God, when you go to God, when you are seeking God. God is going to make a way. He's going to provide that you be made whole again. So we always have problems as people. I don't care who you are, man or woman, children, teenagers. We have problems confronting our issues. She didn't want to confront her issues for 12 years. She tried. She tried it her way, presuming the way a man thinking the doctor will fix it. I open up to him. My friend will fix it. I open up to her. I open up to him. My money will fix it. I open up to my own. So confronting your issue is what this woman had to do. A lot of us, we are great managers of issues. So we manage issues like this woman did for 12 years. She managed her issues where we become great managers. We can put on for the show. We can kind of fake people out of our problems and we're not having a problem. We don't talk about it. We have big smiles. We have situations where we kind of avoid Jesus. We kind of avoid our problem. And the problem was she had an issue. It wasn't so much about the blood. It was her faith. Her faith didn't allow her to be whole. Her faith didn't allow her to be healed. Her faith didn't allow you to get that job. We dying on the inside. We leaking on the inside. And Nobody can see what's going on the inside, and only you know what you feel like on the inside. The inside of you must become manifest because you have to put God inside of you to fix what's going on. The man's heart must be fixed in order for everything else to be fixed. So you losing everything because you didn't want to deal with your issues. She lost everything. She spent all her money because she was bleeding. She spent all her money. She lost all her friends because she got quarantined. She lost her faith because she couldn't go to church. She just lost it all. And I know that each of us have been in a situation where we've been at some losses. But God said if you trust him, he will restore it 100-fold. So we have to be in prayer. We have to be willing to seek. We have to be willing to reach through the crowd no matter what, how hard it may seem, how hard it may be to navigate through all the issues and all the problems. It may be this person, and that person standing in your way to get to God. But this woman got down. She somehow concealed her bleeding, and she touched God again. And before you knew it, somebody who probably identified her as the bleeding woman, she stood up and she was made whole. Can you identify with people who try to identify you from your past, who try to say that what you used to? But when you come to Christ and you touch the hem of his garment and you come to him in prayer to tell him to fix the inside of you, to fix the outside of you, to fix your lips that they may speak godly things, that you may be made whole again. This is what God does. And the one thing, when she was bleeding, and everybody could see her bleeding, and everybody could see her problems going on, and her spirit on the inside stayed clean. Even though that everything around her was messed up. And she had all these financial problems. And she had all these people around her that probably were unsuccessful and they were saying that you're not going to never get healed. Why are you giving all your money away? Why are you going to see Jesus? He ain't going to be able to do this for you. Through all everything that she went through, she was able to be whole again. So the story of the prodigal son, he went off into a pig's pen. He was dirty, he was nasty. But the thing about him being shamed to come back home, his soul stayed clean. He was clean on the inside. So I come to tell you today that you may be having all these problems. You may be having an issue. You may not be bleeding. You may be hemorrhaging somewhere else in your life. You may be hemorrhaging yourself. But God is here to deal bleeding. And God is here to heal you. And even though that everything outside of you may be messed up and jacked up, that's what he has to do in life. And that's a great and wonderful thing. Now, when you're bleeding and everybody can see from you, but when they having problems, they want to come and take from you. But some people, they don't grow up. Some people have problems. Some people have issues. And they don't want to be around you because you may stain them. They don't want to get in your mess. But the only way that you make it out of your issues, the only way that you make it out of problems, is one, to come to Christ. That's the only way that you're going to make it through. What is just, maybe the husband come home or wife, mentally check out. They quarantine in their mind somewhere. They're not with everybody. So it's different stages of quarantine. Socially, different stages of quarantine physically. Just being there for somebody. And see, your enemy got space to take from you. But he ain't know the promise that God came and he sealed with the blood. And it's the same blood that this woman bled. Doors of the church is open.